And now, our feature presentation.
To infinity and beyond!
My name's Bond. James Bond.
That'll do, Piggy.
Bad boys, what you gonna do?
Show you with the box. Who's in the box?
Damn! Ew! Get off of me! Ugh, that's it.
A lot of people go to college for 7 years.
I know. They're called doctors.
Houston, we have a problem.
My cousin Walter got a cat stuck up his ass once. True story. Welcome into 52/1995, your live movie conversation podcast where we dive deep into the movies of 1995. I'm your host, Cody. I'm thrilled to be joined this week by my fantastic co-host, Ryan. For those tuning in for the first time, we're glad that you're here every week. 52 of them, to be exact. We explore a different film from 1995, whether it's a classic hit, quirky gem, or somewhere right in the middle. We dive into this year's important releases. We discuss them in detail and then chat with my guests about their thoughts, experiences with the movie, and then also, learn what they've been watching or what they've been experiencing lately. So our current theme is Boys to Men.
Is it?
That's it. Yeah. Not related to the music group, but just about the characters that are in the movies of this month, where we see a lot of like man children. And we see that with this week's movie, which is called Mallrats. And if you know anything about Mallrats, it takes place in the View Askewniverse, I believe. Kevin Smith, we talked about Clerks last year, and this is his Kevin Smith's second film. So before we get real deep into it, Ryan, welcome again, and let's talk a little bit about Mallrats and where, like, the first time you've seen it or your experience with Kevin Smith. I don't think you and I did.
No,
last year.
No. Hello, thank you for having me again. I have seen Mallrats many times. I'm not sure when it was first, though. I definitely wasn't like queued up to it like the coolest time, which would have been 12 years old.
Yeah,
probably like 17 when I saw it, and then watched it through, or something like that, late high school, and then watched it through college. It's been a few years, but it's all very familiar ground for me.
Okay, so I know what I was doing when I first watched Kevin Smith films. Honestly, I think the first Kevin Smith film I watched was Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, and I saw it in theaters when I was in high school. But like, I think at that point I went back because I didn't understand all the jokes that are in that movie, because that movie is just a bunch of like inside jokes from their previous movies. Totally. Did you do the same thing? Like, maybe not necessarily that.
Went through. Well, two things. First of all, I think my first one I probably saw was actually Dogma, but it was probably the television cut, because I was like, I got into movies really hard through like really like kind of bad Comedy Central Sunday afternoons where they were just like, get rights to movies, make television edits, and just put them on repeat when they didn't have original programming. So I think I saw that one a bunch, which I might still say is my favorite Kevin Smith movie.
Which one again? Sorry, Dogma.
Huh?
Which one again?
Dogma.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I was just like,
yeah, I think it's definitely in the argument for the best one in all factors. I know Kevin Smith very well, and I think that a lot of talking about this movie is going to be me talking about, well, you have to just talk about him and who he is and how he makes his movies and what his like vibes are. But I got into podcasting because of Kevin Smith and other people in this movie. He was like really early on that and had a whole podcast empire years before Serial ever, broke it to the mainstream. Watched his Q&A, stuff like that. So I like Kevin Smith more than I like Kevin Smith movies. I don't think I'm a fan of his films, but I am a fan of him and everything he like kind of stands for and is as a like celebrity nerd, fat guy director. I feel very seen through him.
And he's admirable. Like, I get what you're saying. Like, I can sit down and watch Mallrats and enjoy Mallrats, but also recognize it as like the movie that it is.
Yeah, totally.
But like Kevin Smith himself is an admirable person. He made Clerks, for $20,000 and maxed out every credit card and got all of his friends involved, and then continued to make movies in the way only the way that Kevin Smith would make movies. I don't think he ever, bowed down to anybody too much.
Well, Cop Out.
Yeah.
Cop Out was like I remember him. I remember I was listening to this podcast when that happened. He was talking about like having a bunch of like fails in a row. I think he really thought Zach and Miri make a porno was going to be a hit, and he was like devastated, heartbroken when he's like, I'm the only person who can make Seth Rogen fail at this point, whatever year that was. And so then he went to cop out with a major studio to try to make a buddy cop film, and then that failed too. But I think that was this one time where he was like, I mean, he worked with studios a lot, but I think it was the one time that he was just like, I don't care, just let me be a working director. Please don't like throw me in the trash, man.
Yeah, I don't even think there's one out there that I'm like, yep, I mean, Dogma. I think you're right on with Dogma. I think it's probably my favorite one. And
well, he's had the second resurgence with more genre bending, getting away from the View Askew universe. Tusk and Red State are like interesting kind of horror style films that he can get a low budget, just have creative control, do a weird idea, and people like it well enough.
And I do think he's gotten better every time he's made a movie. I think he gets better all the time, but he still, he still does his View Askew universe stuff and still keeps his friends employed. And I don't know. I like him.
Especially the many hours I spent listening to him back in the day. And just, first of all, he eats a lot of shit. People make fun of him a lot for his hockey jerseys, for being fat, for his movies being bad. And nobody deserves it less. I think he is a very smart, very educated, a very sweet, sweet man who is like very loyal to his friends and family, who is very loyal to his fans and is nice to his fans and just stays busy doing a lot of cool, happy, wholesome shit for everybody around him. And it's kind of kept his soul while being a very successful person. So I always root for him. And I do think that brings a little kindness to rewatching movies that were maybe funny 30 years ago or funnier 30 years ago, or when I was an adolescent. I'm like, I don't care. I can hear Kevin Smith's voice behind it.
Yeah.
And that makes me feel like warm and safe in a way.
And that's kind of been the theme this month. We've watched 3 different movies so far: Mallrats and Major Payne and Billy Madison. And especially with Major Payne, going back and watching that movie and being like, "Yep, 12-year-old Cody thought this was hilarious."
It's no Renaissance Man.
It's no Renaissance Man, man. That's all I kept thinking of. We should have just done Renaissance Man again.
We should do it every year.
But yeah, I think that's the theme with these, is like realizing, going back, and as we do with a lot of these, they don't have to all be these comedies, but some of them don't hold up as well as they used to. Some, we might have missed out on at the time. And I think
especially comedies, I mean, they just famously age poorly. Like they just don't stand the test of time. There's like a humidity in the air that makes things funny in 1995, like, some kind of pressure system that just has a vibe the moment of the time that 30 years later will never hit hard. I don't think you can, man, you could get some like teenagers to really like Mallrats for the first time. I think you still can. There's enough good stuff in there. They could, but a lot of it is weird. Like, it feels 100 years old.
Yeah, I think that you could still get some 13-year-old boys in on it and really love this movie. After spending Easter with my family, I bet my 13-year-old nephew would love this kind of movie just because of the attitude that he gave me. And I didn't like it.
Explain what a mall is. Yeah.
Oh yeah, the mall. That would be what are malls? That is the big question for today.
That's why I'm pitching my sequel series, Timu Rats.
Timu Rats. Let's get into it.
Yeah, let's get into it.
All right, the title of this movie, of course, is Mallrats. It came out October 20th of 1995. It was written and directed by the person that we've been talking about for a little bit, Kevin Smith. The cast, I've got a long list here because I didn't want to not list somebody. Shannon Doherty as Renee Mosier, Jeremy London as T.S. Quint, Jason Lee as Brody Bruce, Claire Forlani as Brandy Svenning, Priscilla Barnes as Miss Ivana, Right, Michael Rooker as Jared Spinning or Mr. Spinning, Ben Affleck in here as Shannon Hamilton, Joey Lauren Adams as Gwen Turner, Renee Humphrey as Trisha Jones, Jason Mewes as Jay, Kevin Smith as Silent Bob, Ethan Suplee as Willem, and Stan Lee, of course, as himself. And I think that's all I'm going to name for this one. The synopsis for this: TS and his best friend Brody take a trip to the mall after their girlfriends break up with them. TS's girlfriend Brandy is participating in a dating game show at the mall, which was the initial cause of their breakup. Meanwhile, Brody's ex Renee has begun dating sleazy store manager Shannon. TS and Brody seek out ways to ruin the game show, hunted all the while by Brandy's father, Jared. This movie had a budget of $6.1 million and a box office return of $2.1 million. So, Rotten Tomatoes has this at a 58%, IMDb at a 7.0, and Letterboxd out of a 2.9 out of 5. Letterboxd is 7 out of 10. IMDb is a 7 out of 10. IMDb always surprises me. Not always surprises me whenever it comes to these kinds of movies. They always skew higher than the Rotten Tomatoes or the Letterboxd, and I believe it's because it's more of a male-dominated.
I wonder if it's just more famous too. So people who are adding internet reviews in the era of the internet are now reviewing out of nostalgia.
Yeah,
I don't know. Other than Amazon, it's the most popular place to drop your paragraph thought about a movie.
Yes, it was it's the original Letterboxd, like even Rotten Tomatoes is behind IMDb on the users being able to review and rate things. So Roger Ebert did not like this movie.
No, he did not. Neither did Siskel.
No, they hated this movie. One of the things I pulled was the fatal flaw in plotting the material is that we don't care. The movie is about two teenagers who are having girlfriend problems, and the problems, unfortunately, would be more entertaining if absolutely nothing was done to resolve them. He gave it 1.5 stars out of 4. And I think they were thinking that Kevin Smith was going to be this auteur, this voice, and
it's so fascinating when you look about the indies, the '90s indie cinema movement. Like Kevin Smith in Clerks gets added in there anytime people talk about it. I mean, they talk about Rich Linklater, right? And they talk about Soderbergh. These were like huge, like American indie cinema was back after the '80s, full of like,
Tarantino.
Yeah, Tarantino, right? The early '90s. And Clerks and Kevin Smith are always in there, which as much as I really like Clerks and I really respect it as a movie, it's crazy that like it's in that moment, people must have been like, holy shit. They must have forgotten Fast Time at Richmond High ever existed. Like they've never seen anything like this before. But I guess they hadn't for a while, You've seen a lot of John Hughes, Schmaltz, more than fast-talking, like crude humor. So yeah, Clerks is always – so you can read that in Ebert and Siskel's like reviews where they really did think that they had like an auteur coming up here when Kevin Smith,
which is hilarious.
It's so funny because he just wants to make dick and fart jokes.
Yeah,
that's what he is. He knows cinema. He's smart enough to care about cinema. He doesn't want to make cinema, at least not for a long time after this.
And I do want to give Kevin Smith credit because I think that his dialogue in movies like Clerks and Mallrats and Dogma and all that stuff are, were a style that was taken on by a lot of different people, like just talking about pop culture and bringing pop culture into the conversations that these characters are, talking about. It's not Linklater where you have two characters talking about existential thoughts and the world and politics and
it's more
being those kind of Gen Xers. We've got these kind of the burnout Gen Xers, the ones that are just talking about Star Wars and construction on the Death Star and stupid things like that. When I do
way more interested in reality and relationships and how to be a happy human and a successful human, characters growing, like just way more grounded things than like Soderbergh and Linklater are trying to do, or even Tarantino in his own like cinema, like magical snow globe universe in his head.
Mm-hmm. And I think the first 4 movies of Kevin Smith show that, and I think Dogma does it in the most unique way because it has that plot with the end of the world and the angels and all that stuff, and I think that's a fun movie to watch, but it still has that Kevin Smith dialogue to it. I think Chasing Amy is his most like all right, here's what they wanted from Clerks. I'm going to try and give it to them with this
And I think they did.
Linklater-esque movie.
I do think film snobs liked Chasing Amy well at the time and still do. So it might be his greatest like piece of art that he's done. But yeah, you get that. Sorry to get us off track, but like with Roger and Ebert, like there's a quote from Ebert's review. Before Mallrats was released, I chaired a panel that Smith participated in, and Kevin Smith cheerfully said that he'd be happy to do whatever the studios wanted if they paid for his films. At that time, I thought he was joking. And then, yeah, I mean, Siskel just says, I sat stone-faced throughout Mallrats, not laughing once. But at some point, I think Ebert specifically says that he's disappointed. Like, he's disappointed in what Kevin Smith did with the second film, which is so crazy that you would watch Clerks and be like, man, I thought you were really going somewhere with this. Yeah. If you watch it now, you're like, you know where he's going with this. It's Mallrats. That's where he's going.
Exactly it's like they miss out on the scenes in Clerks that, bring us that Mallrats thing. Like whenever they go to the funeral and they flip over a casket.
They're just saying, at the end of the day, they were just like, what? This kid like sold his car and filmed in the place he worked and it's in black and white. Genius.
Oh, man. Hal Henson, though, of the Washington Post, said that he liked it a little bit. He said a disjointed but infectious series of comic vignettes, toilet humor, practical jokes, sight gags, and even a sort of grunge variation on Keystone Cop's slapstick.
Yeah.
I think that's an appropriate one.
Yeah, that's perfectly what it is, yeah.
Yes. There is a little bit of a legacy to this, as we've been talking here. There was one, like we've said, it takes place in this View Askew universe, which is several different movies. There was a sequel that they were trying to put together and bring back the original cast. That script was completed in 2020, but it hasn't been picked up by a studio to film. I don't think that matters too much. Yoga Hosers got made, and Kevin Smith figured that one out. I don't know if you've ever seen that movie. It is probably the worst of his. It takes place in the Tusk universe.
The Tuskiverse, yeah.
The Tuskiverse. Sadly, though, last year Shannon Doherty passed away from cancer, so her character would not be able to reprise her role. So I think it's called like Mallrats 2 Rise of, or Twilight of, or it's like Twilight of the Mallrats or something like that.
It's going to be based on some of their kids, I think.
Yeah. So interesting stuff there. I haven't seen some of the other movies in the View Askew universe, especially like the Jay and Silent Bob reboot and Clerks 3. I haven't seen those yet.
Yeah, me neither.
I will say Clerks 2 I really enjoy.
It was pretty good.
That's actually a good
genuine emotion at the end of that movie.
Yes, and I heard that that's kind of the same thing with Clerks 3 as well. It's like more of an emotional film. So
right.
I don't know. All right.
And you don't get to see that because he's very young here too, but like he does try at the end of this film. Like 2 of the 3 R words in it are the 2 most emotional scenes in the film when they're begging for their girlfriends to take them back.
Yeah.
Right in the middle of them. But yeah, like Kevin Smith I think he's very emotionally intelligent. He's a very sweet person about these kind of themes that he writes about. So I think as he gets older, he's like, why can't I make Clerks 2 make you cry a little bit at the end,
I'd be curious how many R words he uses now.
I bet none. I started the counter at the beginning of the movie, and then I was very close to the end, and my partner left, and she was like, what's the counter at? I was like, oh, I don't think I've actually heard another one. She left, but before she could even get to work, I texted her. I was like, nope, there was 2 more right after you left.
Right in a row, yeah. Oh, they were good. All right, let's talk about some of these scenes that really make this film stand out to you. So I wrote down 4 specifically. What about you?
4, huh? Yeah. Oh, another thing real quick. I didn't know there was an extended version. That's the one I watched.
Oh, really?
It has half an hour of footage.
I know that I feel like I've seen it once. I know, and it's got a missing scene, the governor's ball thing, right?
Yeah. The first 12 minutes. So the version you watched, did it just start with the opening credits?
Yeah, it just starts with you don't even get the Brody saying the story about his cousin Walter.
Oh, is it not in that one?
No, I don't think it's in the extended version.
I was reading the quotes and it said voiceover. I remember it happening.
Yeah.
No, it's 12 minutes, a 12-minute long scene that's not funny, has nothing to do with malls. It's just Quentin, his girlfriend breaking up and then accidentally taking a shot with a colonial musket at the governor. for 12 minutes, and then you get the opening credits. It's crazy. In the extended version I watched, they don't walk into the mall until 29 and a half minutes into the movie.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I read the thing about the musket, and it gets brought up later in the movie. In the movie I watched, they say, "Oh, we don't want another incident like the governor's ball on our hands."
Yeah, there's a few times that they work around it, and a few times they just don't. Like that guy comes up and like Quint just punches him in the parking lot. The guy comes up, he's like, "Didn't I see you on CNN?" And the guy
yeah,
just
that's
turns around
not
and
in my
stops him.
version.
Oh, it wasn't in there? Okay. I thought I
Mm-mm.
remembered that from the classic version, but I just don't know why everybody keeps saying he's on CNN.
I'm pretty sure that's not in there. Yeah, yeah. There's a couple times where they reference that, and like especially with like Quint breaking up, or like at the beginning when he breaks up with his girlfriend, he says like, "Oh, we're not going to do this makeup breakups thing again." So they're showing you a history of them breaking up at that
Oh,
event.
yeah, like a little montage. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
So
didn't get that version. Anyways,
interesting.
you go ahead and start. You said you had 4 scenes. What's the first
Yeah,
one?
well, actually, the breakups are both one of like I consider both breakups as one.
The
Although,
opening pre-mall sequence where you
yes.
see both breakups happen, and then they go to the mall about it.
Oh, okay. He does deck. I must have just not remembered that part.
It's
So
real fast. Some guy just comes up and says, "Hey, aren't you the guy from CNN?" And then he decks him and keeps walking and talking to Brody. But now I know why that guy's with the guy. Why would he say that? Why would he be on
yeah,
CNN? And it's like, oh, because he got caught as the guy who almost killed the governor.
interesting. Now
Yeah,
I've got
there's a
to
bunch of mentions of CNN that like are going back to that cutout sequence.
rewatch it now.
Gotta rewatch
Or just watch those scenes. I don't think I can go back and rewatch it. And yeah, so I had the breakup. So I have TS and his girlfriend who I don't know about you, but I felt like TS and Brandy are the most boring parts of this
Yeah.
movie. Their
Yeah.
breakup where he's actually trying to get her to go to Florida with him so he can propose to her when Jaws pops out of the water, which is a big joke, running joke throughout the rest of the movie. But this plays into Clerks a little bit. The reason why Brandy's not going to go with him is because she has to fill in for a girl that was going to be on her dad's dating show, which is being filmed in a mall. Interesting.
Yeah.
But that girl, TS said she looked would look fatter on television. So she swam a bunch of laps trying to lose weight and has an embolism burst in her head, and she dies. So TS essentially kills this girl. But that's the funeral that Dante and Randall go to in Clerks. So this happens one day before Clerks in the timeline, if you guys care, which I thought was pretty interesting. I think this breakup is fine. Obviously, this is like what gets them to go to the mall in the first place and sets the plot in motion. But I like the introduction of Brody and his girlfriend because I think Jason
they're such clear characters and their motivations. I still don't really remember why. I kind of saw it happen actually on the roof during the governor's ball. Why? I think she was just trying to be serious about being an astronomer. Did they ever mention that in your version?
Yes, she says something about majoring in astronomy. I turned to Alyssa and I was like, who the heck majors in astronomy?
Yeah. Yeah, she's like in a cut sequence at the beginning. She's trying to like look at the stars, and he shows up in a colonial soldier's outfit because he's practicing for a musical or a play. Anyways, and then he keeps trying to fuck her, and she's like, "You will never take me serious." And then he gets the musket tangled in her hair, and that's how he almost shoots the governor. But that's when they break up. None of that makes any sense, and I don't know anything about their relationship even after that throughout the rest of the movie. Brody and his girlfriend.
Renee.
Yeah, Brody and Renee, they actually have a very real vibe and they have real chemistry.
Yeah, and I actually really liked Shannon. I thought Shannon Doherty was really good in this. Like, I think she gets a lot of hate probably because of like 90210 and her being difficult on that show, and then also same thing with Charmed later on. But I thought she was pretty good in this for what it is and what she's been given. I love when she like yells at Brody and has like genuine emotion around anything stupid that he says, even in her little quiet moments when she's talking about not wanting to meet her, or Brody not wanting him to meet, or her to meet his mother. Gosh, pronouns are hard. I get it, guys.
Clip it and ship it.
Clip it.
No,
But
you're right. At this point, she's the only actual professional actor or like successful professional actor in this whole cast, which is a great cast. Well, I mean, a lot of them I don't know what they went on to do, but there's a lot of great people in this. But she's like the only working actor at that moment, and she kind of proves it. I think she's the best actor in the movie.
yeah, that which is so surprising to me.
Yeah.
Although I will give it to Jason Lee. This is his first, I think, professional acting role.
He was just a skateboarder until this.
Yeah, which is so crazy. Good for him, and has turned this into. He might be the most successful person out of this cast, other than Stan Lee, if you want to throw him in there. But
his ass is dead, so yeah, Jason Lee's still winning.
Jason, he's the surviving Lee. So
yeah.
But I really like those scenes, and then this is what gets them together and go to the mall. Like TS and Brody go to the mall, and then
it takes so long in my version. There's like news cameras chasing him around. He goes to TS goes to Brandy's like dad at their house, and like Brody talks to the news crew and convinces them that their dad is a Satanist. And then they just keep talking about it over and over and over again, and they finally go to the mall a half hour into the movie.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Where did you find this version? Was it on YouTube?
I pirated it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Man, no, now I've got to.
And I wasn't looking for it. I was like, let me see what's going to pop up when I try. And that was the only one that popped up was the 2-hour version. So I was like, all right, here we go.
Okay. I got to watch these extended seeds then. What do you have down? Besides that first part, which is super interesting.
I mean, that first part's important for setting everything up. I mean, I don't know. Like, I didn't make it such a small amount of scenes. It's hard because it's a very quick sketch-like movie. So I definitely think it's important that they enter the mall and have the montage of characters you're going to meet. So they go into the mall. They run into Shannon, Ben Affleck. They see the stage being set up. They run into Ethan Suplee, the Magic Eye, and they run into Jay and Bob.
I guess I forgot Ben Affleck's in this movie. He's probably the most successful person in this movie.
Oh, yeah, when we were talking about it, we did forget.
Yeah.
He's very forgettable, to be fair.
And he's not a good actor in this movie either.
No. I think he does all right in the role.
He does all right, but there are some scenes when he's like messing with his jacket too much, and I was like, you're not as good as you were in like Dazed and Confused.
It's funny that in early Ben Affleck, I don't have hair like this, but he hasn't yet learned. Other movies, I've seen him with that hair too, the kind of like pompadour, like kind of like Italian American like fro hair. That's like all one like
It's like Vince Vaughn and Swingers kind of.
Yeah, and then like they learn somehow. They just get like some Hollywood tips and tricks to make their hair do different things. But I don't know what else I'm thinking of. But some other early Ben Affleck, he's got that like helmet hair. He's got that in this.
I'm wondering what it might have been. Because he figures it out by Good Will Hunting.
Yeah, by Good Will Hunting, it's all figured out.
It's good. And it's definitely not Dazed and Confused because he's got long hair in that one. So,
right.
Who knows? Meeting Shannon there, and that sets that whole thing up. I guess him and is there anything before this where Brody has like an interaction with him in your version? Was there anything where he meets Shannon?
No, I think he doesn't know him because he mentions multiple times, like, because when he's talking to Trish, the dish, everybody calls her that.
Nobody calls me that.
She talks about sleeping with Ben Affleck's character, and he's like, oh, like, he's kind of just like, oh, that's that douchebag that runs that store. I kind of know who that is.
Yeah.
So other important scenes then, like, if we're going to get real granular about just a few important scenes, like nothing until Stink Palm, Palm Reader, and Dating Show, like, the rest is just a bunch of mishmash.
I wrote down elevator sex.
Elevator scene is important. That's a good plot scene. That develops characters and plot.
So I like that scene a lot. He distracts TS distracts Shannon so that Brody can take Renee into the elevator, and then they fight. I like that interaction between Brody and Renee in that scene, because she goes off on him and then she says something about his libido, and then Brody comes back with the same like intensity, and then they end up having sex in a very funny scene.
Them fighting is great, and
I love it.
It's the stuff Kevin Smith writes well. He writes very unrealistically. I love his vocabulary. Actors struggle with saying long paragraphs very fast. They struggle with that today, but they were really worse at it back then. And then that leads into like Jason Lee does do a very good job as a non-actor in this movie, but he also ends up yelling a lot for
It's
a long
just
time.
him yelling. But
Which
I
gets
laugh
great.
every time that he does yell something.
Yeah.
I don't know why. There's something about his voice that really gets to me whenever he said. But there's a point, not the libido to attack, no libido to attack thing, but she says something. He's like, why would you want to do any of that stuff? And she's like, because I'm a girl, god damn it. Like,
Yeah.
I love her delivery of that line.
It is a very classic thing. Like, I'm charmed by this this quirky, smart kind of slacker. But yeah, it's very much a trope where it's like, but you have to understand, I'm not just a friend that has boobs. I'm in some ways a different creature than you.
Yes.
And then like growing up into that understanding and empathy is a good arc for them.
I don't like the line there on the elevator thing where Ben Affleck's character asks TS, did you see her getting on? He says, I think they were getting off. Like, he doesn't know that they're going to be banging in that elevator.
No.
So I didn't like that one.
There's a lot of like funny lines in this too, but like Kevin Smith sometimes can't leave a pun alone. Like, he needs an editor. It's like, I get it. That could be funny in certain movies. But like, you got too much going on here. And we can take a lot of these like 3 out of 5 puns and just, yeet them. So there's stuff like that a lot. There's a lot of those little lines where like, oh, okay, I get it. Dick joke. Didn't have to be made.
And TS gets a lot of those lines too, where he's like, it seems like they are Kevin Smith voice, and Jeremy London is not the guy to deliver those lines.
No, and it does feel like because Brody's supposed to be the outwardly funny one, they have a bunch of jokes and they just give him all the good ones and then TS all the crap, which makes him an unfunny guy.
The stink palm comes before palm reader, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you go with the stink palm.
The stink palm was, you know what? It's just, it was just an epic adolescent boy meme. It's just one of those things. Stink palm and the palm reader scene are one of those things that were talked about like for a decade of my life, from like, the 16 to 26 or 16 to 30. Like, everybody was like, oh, remember Mallrats? Remember that scene? And it's disgusting enough, but the delivery of it, both his like verbal loquacious description of it, and then the actual delivery of the nuke when he does it to the guy. I'm honestly too snobby and too old, and even when I was young, didn't like poop jokes. So I should have hated all of that, but I thought it was pretty hilarious.
And then they add in the chocolate covered pretzels, and they just focus on the hands, and like it's already gross enough. And
he somehow he kind of hit the target of going like extra gross on it, and then just too short of me being like, all right, move along. I get it.
I do love Brody in this scene, or when he's got his hand in his ass. He's like, well, you're stuck with a shit smelling hand. He's like, that's the price you pay.
Yeah, it's the price you pay to smite your enemies. And I love that.
It's so good.
Full logic about it. Also, his little like non-verbal joke where like Quint walks. I don't know if this was cut out of yours, but when Quint walks away and then he's stuck with the pretzels and he's like, oh, I can't use my hand. He's just like holding his hand out and then like trying to chug the pretzels, and then he smells it and he goes, oh. And then walks off screen. That's pretty good.
You see a stink palm. Have you ever seen the movie Ready to Rumble?
No.
Another equally dumb movie, but with WCW wrestling in it. And David Arquette's character does a stink palm in the very beginning of the movie to try and get free Slurpees. So it's classic stunt.
It is a really heinous way to fuck up somebody that you don't like without, I don't know, committing an actual crime.
That's true. Somebody said they forgot about the palm reader. Oh, Alyssa did. I don't know how she could forget the three nippled palm, the topless palm reading. Miss Ivana.
Another scene that when I saw coming, I was like, oh yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know about Mallrats anymore. I remember the scene, whatever. And then during the scene, I was like, this is very funny. This is very well executed.
I love how repulsed Brody is in this scene. The man that just loves boobs. And just women, and is so like just being so crass and everything, and he's like hiding his.
To be like, that's the coolest shit I've ever seen. To be like more Jason Mewes about it, but he is like, I hate this. They play it really well with her doing her shtick, and she's very funny too. Like the actor could have been lazy, or the casting could have been lazy, just because tits out, third nipple. What else do we need? Like, but she's actually she switches between accents. She makes little jokes. She delivers really well. I thought that actor was good. But her doing her thing, Brody being disgusted, and then Quint being like, "Oh my God, you are psychic. Help me with my relationship problems." All back and forth actually plays really well.
It is a very convincing third nip, chat. You're absolutely right. I
The
thought
point that when they do the bit and she just pops it off, I was like, "That's not makeup work. You can just pop off. That like you can sit in a chair for a day for that. That looks too good."
I think that woman is the replacement Farrah Fawcett or not Farrah Fawcett,
That's
Suzanne
weird.
Summers from Three's Company.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, whenever Suzanne Summers was like,
Actually-
"I'm not doing this anymore," I think she's the one that comes in is that girl.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
that's
she was
what
good
she's from.
professional actor
She
for
was
sure.
good, yeah. And willing, I guess. Just like, yeah,
She's
sure.
comfortable and having a good time, but yeah, hopefully.
For the bit, it was funny, yeah.
Mhm.
And
And
then
one of the few out loud things, because I forgot about it, is when she just pops the nipple in her mouth at the end. That was fucking hilarious. It goes, cherry flavored.
is it a chewing gum? You think? Is that what it is?
Oh, I don't know. I bet it's just like edible, like wax, really.
That makes more sense. Just edible wax.
I'm not sure they actually went ahead and flavored it for her. What a job.
And then game show, is that what you have next?
Yeah, that's obviously the big culmination of everybody's arcs. I mean, even Ethan Suppley's arc and Jay and Bob, and it all comes together in the game show.
Did you know that Ethan Suppley's character is supposed to be the Snowball character from Clerks?
No.
Yeah, so the guy Willem, they're the same character. And Scott Mosier's in this movie too. He could have been that person, but
Yeah.
I think they thought that Ethan Suppley would be a better addition to this. I like Ethan Suppley. He's very funny. He delivers.
Oh, I like him. He's actually a really cool guy too. I've heard him on podcasts in like a couple of recent years. That he's like a deep dude. He's very cool.
I like that.
I
guy.
love him in every movie I've seen him in.
This is, I think, my favorite part of the whole movie, and it is the ending, and it's the culmination of all these things. But it's also my favorite part of Brody. My favorite parts of Jason Lee, specifically when he's talking to suitor number 3.
Yes.
And going through this, and this is also the part where I hate TS the most.
Yeah, I feel like there's some misses in the script where like I'm supposed to feel convinced of how much he cares, and I'm supposed to hear him making like really good, thoughtful points to her. But the actual dialogue doesn't do either of those things, nor does his acting really.
He comes off like really dickish to her.
Yeah, it comes off meaner than I think it's supposed to. I don't think they're trying to do that.
Yeah, I didn't think so either. It was really weird.
A good line. It was like, "I propose to you that you stop doing what your dad wants you to," and I'm like, "Is that what she's doing?" I mean, she's kind of giving you directly complaints of why she's breaking up with you, and I don't know that she ever mentioned that her dad's making her not date you. So stuff like that like could be a good line if they made any sense.
Yeah, I didn't really like that. But Brody giving her all the answers and then pulling them back, and then also making fun of Gil Hicks, related to Dante Hicks from Clerks. They're cousins. Yeah. I just thought that was really funny. And this is where we also get all the R words.
We get 2 real good ones.
2 real good ones. We get them framing Shannon for having sex with an underage girl.
Well, they didn't frame him. He did that.
I mean, he did it, not frame him, I guess, but set him up so that,
Yeah, you get arrested, yeah.
He get arrested, yeah. With a really crazy video. With Ben Affleck being very obsessed with the New Kids on the Block.
Yeah, that's actually pretty funny.
Call me Joey. Now call me Donnie.
And I feel like a couple of those lines were probably references to titles or lyrics.
Oh, yeah.
Them. Yeah.
I can't remember what he said. I think he says like, "Girl, you know it's true," which is a New Kids on the Block song. Right. So, yeah, only references that you would get if you were into the 90s and were Kevin Smith. And pop culture stuff. Again, just coming crazy. Anything else that kind of sticks out from the game show part?
No, there's other stuff to talk about eventually, but no, it's a series of little sketches, and then there are a lot of them that aren't just the comedy little things that like, you got Joey Lauren Adams coming around as like everybody's little spirit animal, imparting wisdom or being like a nice listener. So we have a lot of that stuff, and then Brody and Quint go apart from each other and come back together, like having the same ongoing existential conversation about their situations. So
we have like all those Jay and Silent Bob scenes. We have Brody with Stan Lee,
which is very memorable. That's a very good scene.
Mm-hmm.
Was pretty good in this movie.
Yeah, he's not
He's pretty
bad.
good
He's better than he is in any of the Marvel movies. That he's
right.
in.
I think he doesn't get a lot to say in the Marvel movies, and I think like the last 10 he was in, he was very old, So
Yeah.
But he actually he was a pretty good actor.
It's funny too because he hated apparently he hated the lines that he was given.
Yeah.
Because he's like, I would never say any of this stuff. He's like, well, you're getting paid to say these things, so you would say these things.
Make believe, Stan.
You're an actor. Act. Who's your favorite character, or was there somebody else that kind of like stole the show for you?
Scene stealer. Yeah, I mean it's easy to say Brody. He is the soul of the movie. So that's probably it. I did feel it felt nice to see Joey Lauren Adams again.
I love Joey Lauren Adams.
I love her so much, and she was doing shit like this for like 5 straight years in a bunch of different movies, and she was always a welcome addition to like a 90s comedy.
I don't know what happened in her career. I think after I feel like the last thing I ever saw her in was like serious movie or big movie was like Big Daddy. Because I think she's Adam Sandler's love interest in that movie.
I've seen her as an older woman. I mean, she's a little bit older than me, I guess, but like somewhere. But I don't know. It might have been like an episode of Psych or some shit, like something like that. Yeah.
No, 90s darling though.
Biodome,
Dazed and Confused.
Where's my car? It was like Marla Sokolov and.
Wow, what a pool right there. And she did all the like Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back and a couple of those.
She dated Kevin Smith after this movie for a while.
Oh, they did, yeah. And that's
also
probably why
Little Rock, Arkansas, where I lived until years ago. Yeah,
really, really, totally a '90s actress.
And I guess
obviously she has a working career, but
yeah, absolutely. And I kind of one of those grunge darlings, kind of. And I guess I couldn't call her my favorite in this movie because she doesn't quite get enough to do. But I like her every time she's on screen and the stuff she has to say and the jokes she makes. She's a cool character, but it's clearly like it's easy to see her now being the star of Chasing Amy, next movie.
Yeah. And I don't think I really like when she's talking to the Claire Forlani character and they're like, you kept cheating on him. Why don't you go for him? And she's like, maybe I will. Like,
yeah,
I actually kind of like that part.
There is that you'd probably get in Dazed and Confused. I kind of miss it, as unrealistic as it is, like the 18-year-old with a 1,000-yard stare who's like really grown up and figured life out. Like, oh yeah, I don't know. Well, you cheated on him all the time, and she's like, I don't know, youthful indiscretions. I just got to live up. Like, she's not ashamed of anything she's ever done. Really, she has regrets. She can talk about them openly, and she can give advice to everybody. And she's about to start studying for SATs.
Yeah, how old are these people? They're in college.
They're supposed to be 20s.
Yeah.
I mean, Ebert called them teenagers. They never mentioned school.
Well, so she's majoring in astronomy. They do mention
I think they're 19, 20 years old. I think is a good guess. Yeah. They have cars. They now go to parties that aren't high school parties, but they're still like townies and know like the younger high school kids as well.
Yeah. It feels very much like the same character ages that we get in Clerks whenever we have Dante. Like Dante and his girlfriend are talking about like going back to college and, hey, you dropped out or so I feel like they're 20, 21, something around there.
Much older than 21 though doesn't feel like right.
Yeah, definitely not. And I don't think any of this stuff comes off as good if they are older than 21. No, Brody is my favorite character, but I'm glad that you said something about Joey Lauren Adams because
because it's odd. I mean, Brody is great and is the best character, but looking back, I was trying to think. Like, I like Ethan Suplee a lot. I wish there was more of him, but nobody else really sticks out as individually amazing.
Yeah. Quotes that you really enjoy from this movie? There's a lot of them. I mean, there's tons of one-liners.
And a lot of them are wordy. Well, there's that, and there's a lot of the one-liners, and some of them are wordy, and some of them are conversations. Let's see what I have here. Oh, I liked when he said, who the hell did you see me kiss? And he says, some dude backstage. I don't know who he was, but he seemed unimpressed. That little like second insult that's like not as bad as the first insult. That Honestly, that felt like me. That's a joke I would make, or like, I would say something outlandish, but then I would be like, "Oh yeah, you were making out. I saw you fucking that horse, you know." And also, the horse didn't seem like you were doing a good job of it.
And I love the continuation of that too, because he's like, "Oh, I'm not gay." He's like, "Hey, suitorette, you want to date this guy? He's a homophobe." Like, I love that he just keeps piling on after that too.
I was interested in seeing how much like there would be homophobic stuff, and there is very standard '90s stuff like that's going on, but I didn't feel like it was a mean homophobic movie. And I think that even back then, I think Kevin Smith like was probably just a chill dude about other people being themselves.
That was one thing I did want to point out. Whenever he was making those jokes, it never came off as anything, worse than what it could be. Now he does say the R word a few times, but again, of its time.
Yeah.
The kid is back on the escalator again. I think
he says that multiple times.
Yeah, multiple times. Let's see.
I always like two things that I've learned that can still make me laugh, because not a lot makes me laugh out loud, but just watching anything. One, it probably happens in this movie, but it probably wouldn't be surprising. I just love in any TV show where somebody tells somebody else to shut up. Shut up makes me laugh. Every time I see it in a movie and someone starts talking, someone goes, "Shut up." Oh my God, it kills me. It's the best.
It's one of my favorite parts of Big Lebowski is every time that John Goodman tells Donnie to shut the fuck up.
Shut the fuck up is hilarious. Nothing else is needed. But I also like anytime somebody curses at a kid, and when Ethan Suplee says, the kid says, "Oh, it's a schooner," and Ethan Suplee turns to him and is like, "You dumb bastard! It's a sailboat." It's like you call that 7-year-old a dumb bastard.
I love his delivery of this too. He just goes, "Ha ha ha ha, you dumb bastard." It's so good. Let's see. If we were making Whoopi, what sounds would you make? And then Brody asks, "What's Whoopi?" And she says, "Being intimate." And he goes, "What? Like fucking?" Which I think's pretty funny on live television.
Yeah. There's the same dating thing when he says to Gil, "Look at you. You're the kind of guy who would beg for sex, and I should know. We can smell our own."
I say that line all the time about anybody. Like,
yeah,
if I say something, I'm like, "Oh yeah, I know, because we can smell our own."
Yeah.
Let's say you fuckers think just because a guy reads comics he can't start some shit. I like that line a lot.
Hell hath no fury like a woman scorned for Sega.
Sega boy. When Mr. Svenning is showing off his class ring, whenever he's doing the stink palm, it's a dumb joke. But he says, "This is my junior class ring, cum laude 69." And Brody says, "I also hope to come loud one day, preferably at a 69.
Yeah.
It's dumb, but fun.
Yeah, it's dumb.
It's dumb.
A lot of these, because I like pre-read and like kind of like put some quotes down, so it takes a while to type them out or anything. And then I'm like, I don't know, that's a good one. And then during delivery, I'm like, oh, it's funnier in delivery. I really liked when Ivana is like, guess my birth date, and she was like between the first and last, and she's tweaking her two side-by-side nipples and goes, October. That really got me.
She's a genius. What is that? Oh, when Brody calls a dick a dork, it's the funniest thing I think I've ever heard.
Is his dork orange? Is the thing's dork orange?
It's so silly, but
he calls the asshole the most notorious of body cavities.
What, like the back of a Volkswagen?
Yeah, that's a funny running joke. I think I remember people quoting that all the time to the point that I forgot where it came from.
Yeah.
I think this might have been cut out there. Well, there's a version of the scene where Ben Affleck beats up Brody in like the back hallway, like the service hallway. At some point he says, "I have no respect for people with no shopping agenda."
Yes, that's in the
okay, yeah.
Video, so I love the smell of commerce in the morning.
Yeah, that's a good opening line. That's a good way to just walk into the
if it wasn't 29 minutes into the movie.
Yeah. I was like, finally I'm home. I don't know what I just watched. When Jay says that Silent Bob won the science fair in 8th grade by turning his mom's vibrator into a CD player using some chicken wire and shit.
No, motherfucker's better than MacGyver.
Yeah, motherfucker's like a diver. He's better than MacGyver.
And Brody, whenever he goes to the dirt mall for the palm reader, he says, "What can I say? I love tits." It's a simple line. I just really like it.
What is the dirt mall again?
The dirt mall is just like it's like a flea market kind of place. That's what it reminds me of anyway.
Yeah. I just didn't really realize that they left them all.
Yeah, because they got kicked out of the mall. They got arrested, and then Jay and Silent Bob knock them out, and they run off and do their little Batman sketch thing. And
Okay, yeah, I remember them getting arrested or with a security guard, but I didn't remember them leaving the mall. And then they kept saying dirt mall, dirt mall. I was like, what are you talking about?
yeah, the dirt mall. It's like the flea market. That's all it is. It's where.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever been to one of those places, like
the
covered flea market.
Dirt mall's a funny name for a flea market.
Yeah. Kmart. That is not a flea. That is not a dirt mall. Get out of here, man. What other lines? Anything else that stuck out to you?
Oh, I had one, but I forgot about it. Yeah, there's just other funny things. Oh, I do like that was one quick one where Stanley's like, they seem happy, don't they? And he goes, "What, the bras?" He's just standing there alone, staring in a lingerie store.
No, that couple.
There's a lot of funny back and forth stuff. Like, yeah, you don't have to read out the whole like Superman monologue, or I like the fight, the whether or not the cookie stand is part of the food court fight.
I used to mix CDs, and I would take those monologues and put them at various places and on some of the mix CDs that I had because I thought they were hilarious as a teenager.
You know what, Cody? You're pretty cool.
Hey, look at me now.
I remember finding enough of the sketches off of Napster.
Yep, that's where I found
the Holy Grail that I could put together in the correct order and listen to it on the school bus on the way to school.
So you're just as cool as me.
Yeah, that's how we got together.
All right, biggest laugh, cry, scare, or thrill. I don't think there are too many cries or scares or thrills, but
no, eating the nipple I had for a laugh. There's a big what the fuck though.
Oh, I have Brody attacking Gil, like him doing all the stuff on stage. I thought it's pretty. Jay with the kitties at the pet store. I thought this was pretty funny. I just like
say bye to the kitties.
And then also like Jay with Willem, he just appears behind Willem when Willem's trying to stare at the what are those things called? Stereograms?
Oh, I don't know. I just called them magic eyes posters.
Magic eye thing. Yeah. He's like, I got just the thing you need. You'll see big titties. You'll see all these things. Like,
oh yeah, that actually had that part written down. That was good. What you need is a fatty boom batty blunt. And I guarantee you'll be seeing the sailboat and ocean and maybe even some of those big-titted mermaids doing some of that lesbian shit. And then he goes, look at me, you sloppy bitch.
I think it's so funny.
That honestly, I mean, I'm never like the biggest Jay fan. Like he's a vibe, I get it, but he's not necessarily my kind of comedy. But every now and then when he hits good, it's so funny.
Yeah, he's great. If he's streaming, I should raid him at the end of this.
Oh, does Jason use a stream now?
Yeah, he plays Fortnite. Streams Fortnite a lot. It's pretty funny. He should be streaming COD though, because he has his own character skin on COD.
He's still playing Fortnite. Oh, get wrecked, COD. You'll never recover.
Okay, what's your WTF moment?
Oh, everything about Trish the Ditch, 15 years old, and with her parents and an academy's permission and a book publisher's permission, just fucking a lot of grown men is kind of crazy.
What was it? 14 to I can't remember the ages. It's like 14 to 45 or something. Or 35.
Yeah, no, it's like I thought it was like 18 to 30 or something like that. Yeah, it went up into 30. At one point, she had to fuck the guy. I was like, I needed a 25-year-old.
It's so crazy. But even though like
Joey Lauren Adams is like not ashamed of her body or her sexuality and sleeps around a lot, it's very cool. And that was like a vibe in like 90s comedies maybe, or certain, teen comedies or whatever, to like not necessarily sexualize women, but let them be very sexual, even very sexual, and just be like, no, it's cool. They have their, their self-possession of their own lives. But then to kind of like put that archetype over somebody who's like explicitly 15 years old is just wild.
Yeah. Trish is one of the first things that Alyssa said. She's like, that girl's not 15. Like,
no,
like that girl's way too old looking to be the 15. But yeah, everything to do with Trish is my number one thing. WTF about this thing. And then I also said any of like the sex.
Hey, or Ben Affleck says, "Hey, you wouldn't have popped her."
Yeah, I hated that. But couldn't have happened to a worse.
You wouldn't have popped her.
Couldn't have happened to a better guy, though. Let's be real. He deserved it. Best music moment in this movie.
There's some good ones, man. Honestly, I mean, something very nostalgic for the '90s for me is just Suzanne by Weezer.
That's exactly what I had. I was like, Suzanne's perfect.
Yeah.
And it's not even out until the end of the movie. Whenever you see whenever they're going through their like Fast Times at Ridgemont High, hey, here's what they're doing now section, which is a direct ripoff. It's funny that you brought that up earlier.
Yeah. They did that because of Fast Times doing that.
Any other songs that stuck? I like the soundtrack. I thought it was really good.
I didn't know that opening song, but it was a very good choice for just grunge music.
I love the credits of this movie too.
Yeah, the opening credits were really good. I agree. Yeah, I like that a lot. And then I think, man, what was like the ska band that did the covers in the '90s? Like they were in there doing the classic love song. It was
I used to download them all the time on Napster.
Yeah,
because I was into those. It's not Me First and the Gimme Gimmes.
It's not Letters to Cleo, is it?
No.
Or is that the original one?
What is it?
Like
Less Than Jake?
Maybe, but it was a female vocalist in the movie. And that reminds me of when they did that in 10 Things I Hate About You. They did that a few times at the end credits. They're on top of the school, like doing
That's Letters to Cleo.
Yeah, that's who I was thinking of. Yeah.
Squirt Gun?
That's the opening credit song, yeah. But somewhere in the middle, they were doing like a ska cover of a classic song. I can't remember what it was. And Boogie Shoes is in here, and I was like, I only know that song from this movie, and now I feel like I hear Boogie Shoes every time I leave my house.
Is that the dun, 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 dun? Yeah. It's Build Me Up Buttercup by the Goops, by the way.
The Goops.
How could I for Goop is
dumb. Yeah,
I get so red every time you do this to me. Now it's time for Fuck, Marry, Kill. I have 4 different versions of this.
Oh my god! Well, we need a 4th option then.
No, I have 4. Like I have 4 different.
Oh, 4 different FMKs.
Yeah.
All right, chat.
All right, let's put it out there. Who's ready for this intense F, Marry, Kill?
Woof.
And Trish the Dish is not included on here.
Good. I was hoping you wouldn't.
Brody, TS, and Gil.
Brody, TS, and Gil.
You know, Suitor 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah. Gil's got to go. I guess you, I don't know. I don't want to fuck or marry TS.
I hate TS. I want to kill him, I think. I think I want
Gil.
Gil.
I hate him as much as you do, but yeah, I think you, fuck. I think you marry Brody, but it's going to be a thing you regret many days.
Poor Brody.
Yeah. I mean, he's going to be like a shitty partner, but then when it's fun, it's going to be way more fun.
Yeah. I agree. I think I agree with you.
I'd rather have a difficult relationship with a difficult partner who has flaws than be bored for the rest of my life, I guess is what I'm saying.
I think I'm gonna bang Brody, and I think I'm gonna marry Gil. Because I feel like
Gil?
Yeah, I think Gil's got it together. He might have some questions, and I could be his beard. Well, no, if I'm not his beard, because he's not. He might be into me. Yeah, so
because he's hiding the fact that he's straight.
That's mine. Brandy, Gwen, and Renee.
I got it, man. The women's names in this. All right, I know.
Gwen is Joey Lauren Adams. Renee is Shannon Doherty, and Brandy is whatever.
Yeah, I think I marry Gwen because I think you fuck for life then, and then I would kill Shannon Doherty. Okay. No, I'd kill Brandy.
Oh, okay,
and fuck Shannon Doherty. Yeah,
that's my answer too.
Yeah,
I'm just so anti TS and Brandy. I don't know. I've never. I don't know if you've seen many movies with Claire Forlani in it. She's in Meet Joe Black. She's in Boys and Girls. I've never been a fan. There's something about the way she talks that I've just been like.
I was like fascinated with her acting while she was on the show. It was clearly almost like it was. I don't know. It could have been bad directing as well. But it was like very much just say things that remind people of how pretty you are. Like that's how she was like delivering her lines a lot.
And she's British, but
interesting.
Yeah, but I don't know if I've ever heard her speak in a British accent because I've only heard her be an American accent that just sounds weird, and I think that's actually her British accent.
I see.
So I don't know.
Yeah.
Not a big Claire Forlani fan. Jay, Silent Bob, and Willem.
Oh, I think you marry Silent Bob because he's a homie.
He's a homie.
You fuck Jason Mewes because he fucks. I don't want to kill Willem.
I kill Willem because he can't see this.
Or he doesn't seem like he fucks either.
I kill Willem because he can't see the magic eye thing.
Mm. Jason Mewes is kind of guy that like a whole town worth of women like don't want to admit that they fucked him. Like eventually everyone's gonna give in, have a great time, and then like I'm never telling anybody that happened.
Yeah, that is it. That is it. No, Willem just seems a little self-defeatist, you know? Like
Yeah. I mean, we didn't get to see much more of him outside of his one. I mean, I do admire his discipline and his ambition. He's gonna, yeah, I don't know that it's not bringing a lot of any energy.
And then finally, Shannon from the Casual Mail, Mr. Svenning, and LaFours.
Oh, this is nice because we know how Shannon fucks.
What, like the back of a full tank?
Yeah. So
I think I marry LaFours.
I don't think LaFours is a bad guy, really.
Well, he's a little creepy when he is like the bodyguard or whatever for Trish.
Yeah.
At the end of the movie, so that creeps me out.
Well, he fucks her at the end of the movie and stays with her.
Oh, maybe.
Wait,
is that what happens?
Was that in did you get that scene where they're fucking by the Easter Bunny costume?
No.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah, no, because this is cut out. This is cut out at the end of the where Silent Bob is like trying to reach the tape. LaFours comes back from or whatever and is about to fuck things up, and Jay goes, "Trish, distract him for us." And I know this part was cut out, so I assume the rest of it was too. So she goes up and goes to LaFours and says, "Would you like to help me with like some research?" And then he gets kind of like, "All right." And then they get distracted, and that's cut out. And then later on, when there's like a little montage before the actual montage, I don't know what it's supposed to be. It's like a display stage for the Easter Bunny. So like they're underneath a bunch of fabric, and there's a big Easter Bunny head behind them. And then he like stands up shirtless or whatever, and it's like breathes heavy for a second, and then her arm comes up and pulls him back down.
Oh, I had no idea.
So at the end, they're supposed to still be together. In the montage, when you see them together, like I think they're supposed to be a couple.
Hey, just got raided. That's a first here. Welcome in, Raiders.
What's up, Big Wiki?
What's going on? We're talking about Mallrats over here on.
We're doing Fuck, Marry, Kill and Mallrats.
Yeah, we're talking about Fuck, Marry, Kill. It's a great time for everybody to come in here. No, but I didn't know about that scene with LaFours.
Yeah, that was cut out. I forgot. Yeah.
Weird. That is wild. But between Shannon and Mr. Svenning, what are you going to do?
I'm going to kill Shannon and fuck Mr. Svenning.
Okay. I think that's okay.
He deserves to die. We got to put him down.
You dumb bastard. Fly, fat ass, fly.
Where's the steel boot, stupid
Who delivered the standout performance?
That's got to be Jason Lee.
I agree. Yeah. We don't get the Alvin and the Chipmunks movies without this performance here.
Right. Yeah.
Or the Squeakquel.
Mallrats, there's no Chipwrecked.
There's no Chipwrecked. No Squeakquels, no Chipwrecked.
He did great stuff. Obviously, My Name is Earl. I mean, he was great and almost famous.
Have you watched through My Name is Earl?
No, not all of it. Just like the first 3.
I did that a few years ago. I went through because I really like I think his name's Greg Garcia. I think he created My Name is Earl. He also created Raising Hope. I loved Raising Hope. So I went back and watched all of My Name is Earl. I love that show. It's great.
It's really good. They create their own little space in the corner over there and kind of do what makes them happy. So it gives it a unique flavor, that show.
And it gives me that I don't know. It's television for poor people. And
it's also elevated.
Yeah,
it's got narrator. It's got like it's filmed like a movie style. Like the way it's filmed is really cool.
Ethan Suppley's in it.
I love Ethan Suppley.
Yeah, he's great. He's great.
Our Full Confidential.
If you could recast this movie, you can either do 95, you could do both, or 2025 recast. It's really hard to recast in 2025 because you really don't mean,
We don't
some of
have
these-
young. I was googling young comic actors, and there's like not many. I did find a couple, but yeah, and it was hard in '95 because doing research for the movie, everybody I could ever potentially think of auditioned for one of these roles. Like, there's so many people, so I'm gonna like list a bunch of people who auditioned for it that I think would be great recasts. Jennifer Love Hewitt as Trisha,
yeah.
Sarah Michelle Gellar and Alyssa Milano auditioned for Shannon Doherty's role.
Ooh, I mean, Alyssa Milano would have been great.
I think Alyssa Milano would have been really good.
Yeah.
Adam Sandler and Steve Zahn were finalists for Brody.
Oh, did you know about Brody's shirt?
Yes, that it's the morphed version of all the other people who auditioned.
Yeah, I never knew that. I thought it was some brand or something, but no, it's all of the faces of those people that didn't get it. So Steve Zahn and Adam Sandler are in there.
Mhm. Parker Posey auditioned for Gwen, which would have been really cool. Also, I could not be mad if anybody had like a Mandela effect that Trisha was Parker Posey. She looked similar to her, and her acting style was so similar too.
Well, and, I mean, especially with Ben Affleck being in Dazed and Confused, Joey Lauren Adams being in Dazed and Confused, and then Jeremy London's brother Jason London being in Dazed and Confused, I could see where you could mix up any one of these characters.
A lot of them, yeah. But I mean, the ones I came up with, in fact, I won't list a bunch of names, but I think the one that was most exciting to me is we do like a spiritual sequel from Reality Bites, and you have Ethan Hawke as Brody and Ben Stiller as Quint.
Ooh, yeah, I like that. Steve Zahn in there anywhere?
Yeah, Steve Zahn was one of the people auditioned for Brody.
For Brody, yeah. Giovanni Ribisi would have been somewhere. He could have been a good TS.
I wrote him down because I'll tell you later when we get to pair with.
Okay.
Giovanni Ribisi occurred to me. I think he would have been good.
I wonder if we have the same pairing.
Okay, maybe.
Because I've got one with him in it too.
Because he's kind of like he's like a smart, fast-talking sad sack, especially back in the '90s. So like him being mopey about his girlfriend and like just existentially depressed would be good for Giovanni.
So did you do any for 2025?
Yeah, I mean they're not great though. Pete Davidson as Brody makes sense.
Yes, that makes so much sense.
And then the only other things I was just like Googling around looking for actors really. If we brought the Bear Crew over and you had like Jeremy Allen White would be a good Quint for being like an angry sad sack too. And then you get Ayo Edebiri in there somewhere.
I try and put her in everything if I could.
Honestly, put her in everything. It was just so hard to find anybody who I know has some kind of comedy chops who's remotely young enough to play one of these characters. And there really isn't anybody in 2025.
Yeah, I was just pulling people from Booksmart, if you've ever seen Booksmart.
Okay, yeah, that's
which is great. There's some young people in that. This movie that came out recently, it's not my favorite. Kyle Mooney did it. It's called Y2K. It's on Max if you want to stream it, but it's like a horror movie. But it's got a lot. I mean, it's all high schoolers and some of the people in that. Like the main two guys, I think would be a great TS and Brody in that. And one of them is the kid from The Hunt for the Wilder People. You ever seen that movie?
No, I missed it.
It's a good one. Julian Dennison. It's this New Zealand actor. He's very fun. He gives me Brody, like he is Brody in a younger version. So
I know there's people out there, and there's probably a lot of comedy TV I haven't seen a lot where there's some really good talent that haven't blown up yet. Because otherwise, all I could think of is like the string of like mid-20s pretty people that are in everything these days, but I don't know that they're necessarily suited for any particular role or like fast talking comedy because you don't make those kinds of things these days.
Alyssa gave me a great advice. She's like, if you're looking for young actors like to try and recast, just think about all the horror movies that are coming out now.
Yes, that's where young actors live.
That's where young actors live. And so
I know Florence Pugh, Anya Taylor-Joy, like these are all people you see around a lot.
Yeah, Timmy Shao, all those people.
Rachel Sennett is very funny. She works with Ayo Edebiri a lot.
Yeah.
She could do some good comedy.
Have you seen Bottoms? Bottoms is great. Bodies is a great young horror movie. Speaking of horror,
Rachel Brosnahan, but I mean she's pretty old to be doing it now at this point. But
yeah,
just thinking like season 1, Miss Maisel, she could fit in like a Shannon Doherty style role pretty easy.
Kiernan Shipka was somebody that I had. I thought maybe she'd be a good Gwen. Most people probably know her from Mad Men. She's the daughter from Mad Men. Sophie Thatcher though as Brandy, she's in what is the movie? Heretic.
Oh yeah,
and I think she's also in Companion. She's great. Again, young actress in
horror movie.
movies. Yeah. So, all right. Fun facts about Mallrats. We've gotten through a few of them, but I'm sure there are some other ones out there.
There's a lot of them. Let me see which of these haven't been mentioned yet. Oh yeah, Universal didn't want Jay Muse to play Jay.
Which I get it.
I guess it's only the second movie, and the first one was an indie. But now, like in retrospect, it's like crazy. They're like, yeah, they were gonna make Jason Mewes the character, not be the actor, not be Jason Mewes. So that was wild. They had Seth Green test for that, which would have been an interesting like alternate reality where Seth Green reprises the Jay character throughout all the next 5 movies.
It would have been a funny callback if they would have had like Seth Green in the Jay and Silent Bob movie that was in Jay and Silent Bob's Strike Back. Like they were making that Blunt Man and Chronic movie. It would have been kind of funny to have them, whoever was supposed to be Jay.
Whoever was supposed to be, that would have been a good joke, yeah.
Brecken Meyer, I also saw was supposed to be also auditioned for that role, but no, Jason Mewes is Jay forever.
I just rewinded really quick. I just saw it. What was Brendan Fraser doing in '95? Because Quint just looks like him anyway.
Oh yeah, I mean, Encino Man.
Yeah, so he'd be the right age. He could have
he would have been way better,
and he would have been way better. So that's the perfect recast back then. It feels like,
or just put Matt Damon in it.
Yeah. I don't know what he'd
be a good Quint. He'd have been great, Quint. Anything? Well, what else we got? We talked about the shirt.
Kevin Smith did say something cryptic. He said that the original person cast for Brody broke down on the first day of shooting and was unable to perform very well. And he's like, I'll never say who it was, but that happened. And so Jason Lee was then cajoled because was just hanging around. It was just cajoled into the role or something like that.
Going back to Seth Green, apparently they had him on standby, to the last second.
Yeah. And that might have been one of the reasons, if Universal knew anything, because if you've heard, Kevin Smith talk about his friends or talk about Jason Mewes at all, he been on and off hard drugs, but is also just a notoriously unreliable dude. He would get high and wander away and forget that he's supposed to be in a movie. So yeah, it would be a big liability to cast somebody like him. And I think you have to be Kevin Smith to have the patience and to bully him to doing what he needs to do for his own good.
It's crazy. The names Brody, Bruce, and Quint are all references to Jaws. If you haven't picked up on that,
which is mentioned in the movie. I think that is Kevin Smith's favorite movie.
It's a good one.
So the Superman conversation about Superman being too strong to sleep with a normal woman is based on an actual essay that a sci-fi writer wrote in the 70s. And the essay is called Man of Steel, Woman of Kleenex.
I just love the visual, the shotgun blast through the back.
Yeah, I was back and forth Dad, do I want to read all these? There's some funny lines in there. If she gets a tan, it'll burst out of her womb or something.
Yes. What else? I was trying to think. Oh, a kryptonite condom, but that would kill him.
Yeah, I don't know if you caught the Brenda reference, the 90210 reference. Yeah.
And I don't know if this is after she's been taken off the show or not, or quit the show. I can't remember. But that was
93 filming, right?
Yeah.
94. 93 is when it takes place. It'd be 94 filming, maybe 95 release.
Mm-hmm. But apparently Kevin Smith told him to say the Brenda line. He also told Shannon Doherty that he was going to say that line, but he didn't tell Ethan Suplee that he told her.
Yeah.
And she responds, and so it's a genuine reaction.
That's
the
funny.
Superman conversation is also a Twilight conversation, which is so funny to me. Oh yeah.
Yeah, and now with all these dragon fucking books, the eternal question rears its head once again.
Can a dragon fuck a human?
We're gonna find out. We're gonna invent them just to find out. Yeah, I don't have anything else too good. I don't know if you know who Shawnee Smith is. She was in a lot of Saw movies. She's a mid-level actor.
Oh, yeah.
Apparently, she auditioned for Shannon Doherty's role and this brutally mocked the script while she was auditioning to the point that the casting director had to apologize to Kevin Smith and everybody afterwards.
Do you think she regrets it?
Probably not. I think she's the kind of person who's not it's not well, I guess it didn't make a couple careers. It jump-started a couple careers, but I don't know if Mallrats was even that big of a hit. It wasn't on everybody's radar in 95, but
I wonder if she would have been a little I don't know how old she would have been. 69. Let's see, 89, 20. She'd have been in her like mid 20s by that point. I don't know if she would have been good. I don't know though.
Yeah,
Who knows? Anything? I don't have anything else. We've went over all of mine.
that's all I got.
All right. Like a fine wine and dish, if you could pair Mallrats with another movie for a double feature, what would you choose?
Well, we mentioned some obvious ones already. Fast Times and Dazed and Confused make a lot of sense. The best one I would actually think is a good and want to watch would maybe be with Superbad, since it's a one-day story kind of. But the one I threw in there for fun was Steven Soderbergh's Suburbia.
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
I had that. That was the one I had.
I was a little worried about it. Maybe you remember it better than me because it's been a while since I watched it. But this is a Steven Soderbergh movie about slacker kids kind of hanging out in a clerk style quick stop parking lot a lot. I do kind of remember it being darker in tone and more of a bummer, but it did really kind of capture some like 90s grungy slacker going nowhere vibes that this has.
It is a super bummer. I watched it last year because I was going through Linklater films, and it does have some really bummer parts in it. But Parker Posey, Giovanni Ribisi, Steve Zahn,
and I had never seen Ribisi in anything that old, and I remember liking him a lot in that movie.
Mm-hmm. Nicky Katt's in it. He just passed away last week, I think. Nicky Katt did. So. Yeah, no, that was absolutely on here. It is a little darker than all the other films that,
So if you want some 90s cinema or whatever, you probably start with Suburbia, watch a really good movie a lot of people probably don't know exists, and then be like, all right, palate cleanser, let's watch Mallrats.
And you can also watch all the ones in the View Askew universe. And if you want to watch them in order, I think it is in order of how they take place. This one goes first, then Clerks, then Chasing Amy, Dogma, Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, Clerks 2, Jay and Silent Bob Super Groovy Cartoon Movie, Jay and Silent Bob Reboot, and then Clerks 3.
That's pretty much the way they were released, except for the one Switch, right?
Yeah, except for the Switch there.
And what about the Clerks animated series?
I love the Clerks animated series.
I was actually kind of better, maybe like pound for pound better than a lot of their movies.
Because I thought, like, whenever I saw the Jay and Silent Bob Super Groovy cartoon movie, I was like, I've never seen that before, but I wonder if it's any good because the Clerks TV show was very good. I liked it. But only lasted, I don't even think it lasted a full season.
Yeah, but I think it was like 10, 12 episodes.
Yeah. My friends had the DVDs when we were in high school, so I watched all that stuff. So it's great. All right. Let's get down to the rewatchability rating of this movie. On a scale of 1 to 5, how likely are you to rewatch this movie?
I mean, 3 out of 5. I'll rewatch it again in my life.
Yeah, I put 3.5 stars because I have rewatched it many times, and I laugh at all the parts that I'm supposed to, and then also then cringe at the parts that I'm, that didn't age so well.
That's the thing with the rewatchability on this one is because I have to rate it like maybe even higher than I did on rewatchability because I have rewatched it a lot. However, I may not rewatch it again. I think maybe I've seen Mallrats just the last time I need to see Mallrats. I think its rewatchability is a 3 out of 5.
Well, I think you should watch the original or the theatrical release next time.
Well, that's the one I've seen most of the time. This is the only time I've seen the extended one.
So on a scale of 1 to 5 overall, what would you give it?
Again, a 3 out of 5.
I said 3 too, but really a 2.5.
Yeah.
I think I'd bump it up a half for nostalgia reasons and loving like that time of my life of watching all those Kevin Smith movies and really, really investing my time in those.
Yeah, I agree. And his cinematic and dialogue voice is precious to me. Even if the jokes that come through that voice aren't always. I think that he makes these early movies with a lot of authenticity and a lot of love. And I think that there weren't a million foul-mouthed comedy streaming TV shows constantly like beating you overhead with these vibes. Like I think that he deserves a lot of credit for finding a way to make Fast Times work in the 90s and be part of a movement that continues to make comedy like that grow all the way through like the Apatows and Adam McKays and all of that stuff. So this is maybe close to being a bit of a relic. I think anybody who loves it so much is probably getting too old to like make that taste anymore, like affect it. But I think it'll always be remembered, and it's got a unique voice and a lot of unique stars in it.
Yeah, I agree with you, and it kind of like I kind of miss the times of these hour-and-a-half comedies that we've been talking about. Like we get into the 2000s and we start to get a 2-hour comedy, and we get into 2.5-hour comedies with the Apatows, and like which I think are very funny, but also, have their own problems and
Yeah.
in the same way that Kevin Smith does. But those are revered a little bit more because they, have something to say, I guess, more than Kevin Smith is, where he's just hanging out with his friends and talking dumb shit. So
right, and to go full circle with the beginning, like he and what I just said, that he has an authentic voice. Like a lot of the reasons that comedies are not doing well right now and aren't being made right now is because we had like a big run there where every comedy, whether people liked it or not, was an industry plant. Like it was just like, did you like The Office? Did you like Parks and Rec? Did you like 30 Rock? Like we're gonna take all those people. And guess what? Hollywood is making a movie for them to be in. And they were like not unfunny movies, but they really don't feel like a unique vision. It's not a bunch of actors coming together to find a creator they like and then execute that creator's vision. They feel like they're making Date Night 2 or something. Like they're making Dinner with the Schmucks. Whereas this felt like Kevin Smith made a movie and people who were interested in it wanted to try out for it. And Kevin Smith got to make a movie. Even if that makes it less polished, it does make it feel less soul sucking to watch.
Yeah, and I think there are people out there that are still trying this those original visions.
It's not like we're dead forever and there's no creativity.
Right.
It's felt that way in comedies for a while. They haven't felt like excited voices making their thing.
And I'm glad you brought up Rachel Sennett and AO earlier, because I don't know if you've seen it, but Bottoms is a really funny high school comedy movie that came out, within the last couple of years, and does speak this voice of their voice of their generation. And in the same way that Kevin Smith is a voice of Gen X and the pop culture and speaking in those terms, I feel like there is another generation that is doing that same thing. And I think they're definitely people to watch.
Yeah.
In that. So yeah, whatever.
Yep. Mallrats couldn't have been made in 85. It couldn't have been made in 2005. It couldn't have been made by any other group of people than this. And I think that I'll always like that about a movie.
Yeah. All right. Well, Ryan, thank you so much for doing this with me, and thank you for tackling Mallrats. We'll see you again here, in a few weeks. I'm pretty sure with some of the in our upcoming theme. But before we wrap up and end this thing, do you have any recent movie recommendations or anything? Honestly,
nope. Oh yeah, I mean,
damn.
I've been watching a lot of slop. I've been playing this video game I like, so I've been putting a lot of pirated slop up on the television. So I'm catching up on like MCU crap, which I can't respect, but I'm going to watch all of. But I have finally gotten around to watching all the Fast and Furious movies that I missed and re-listening to how did this get made. So I can 100% recommend Fast like 5, 6, 7, and 8. Yeah, those are fucking cool movies. So I don't know if you checked out the Fast and Furious series, but I wholeheartedly recommend it.
Well, that's perfect. I love that. It's funny that you've been doing that, because I have also been catching up on not great things, and one of those was the new Halloween movies that came out from David Gordon Green. I really liked the first one. Hadn't watched Halloween Kills and Halloween Ends, and they are not my favorite at all.
Yeah.
I can't recommend them. But I did watch the Sonic movies.
Oh, I watched all those like last month. Yeah. I've been watching a lot of
I almost cried at the end of Sonic the Hedgehog 3.
Oh, yeah, with Shadow?
With Shadow and Dr. Robotnik. It's, it gets very emotional.
I don't know how they can get better. I've been watching that shit and watching I watched the Mario movie. I wrote down Minecraft in my phone to watch it soon because I'm just on the slop train.
Yeah, I'm for the slop right now. I also watched a regional theater put on a production of Into the Woods and thought of you.
Fuck it. Sondheim blows. Don't need that. Sonic 4. That's what you need.
Sondheimic 4. Sondheim the Hedgehog.
I'm just kidding. Into the Woods is maybe my favorite musical of all time.
Love it. Yeah, I did want to tell you that I did that. I went on a date with my mom, and that's what we did.
Aw. I took my mom to see it in theaters because I know she liked Meryl Streep, and my dad will never go to her theaters. And I was like, I think you'll like it. It's my favorite musical. And now she watches it once a year, DVD.
It's the sweetest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah.
Well, Ryan, thank you so much. Oh, yeah. What video game were you playing?
A game called The Bazaar. Free to play on Mac and PC. Auto battler, roguelike, deck builder, pretty colors. I'm really in it. But the meta changes every week. I've been watching my favorite streamer play for like 3 months. Finally open beta. I've been playing it nonstop for 2 months, and now I'm pretty much cooked. And I'm probably not going to play it anymore because the biggest news of the podcast, I bought a Steam Deck and it came in today, and I've just been downloading games the whole time in the background, and No one's going to see me for months because I'm going to
I
get
was
back in
getting
the
ready
ring.
to say, and that was the last time we heard from Ryan.
It's
and the
so
Team
cool.
Mallrats.
It's like this big. Handheld gaming.
Oh man, I love that. I've thought about getting a Steam Deck, but I barely even play my Switch. So would I enjoy a Steam Deck?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't
We'll
know.
see. You could play Sea of Thieves on your Steam Deck.
I can. They can run Sea of Thieves.
That's what I'm talking about. All right, let's get out of here. Welcome in, everybody. Thank you all so much for coming to today's podcast. We do this once a week, 52 times a year for a specific year. But you could get so much more information if you join our Discord server. Those links should be in the bio there. If you have any problems with that, feel free to reach out to me. You can also follow us on Instagram or check out my account on Letterboxd from those links as well. Next week, Sunday, not Sunday, the 27th, I will be out of the state. But on Monday, so we're going to do another Monday stream. We are actually going to finish out our theme of Boys to Men, and we're going to tackle Tommy Boy, starring Chris Farley and David Spade. And that's how we're going to end our Boys to Men month. Also, next week, not this week, next week, our extra credit theme is called Youths, where all of our films tackle the teens of the 90s in funny, serious, and strange ways. We're going to have a special guest on that week, Crafty from the Video Game Happy Hour podcast. He's had me on his podcast. So we're going to talk about some of those movies. Those movies include Angus, Empire Records, Kids, and Hackers. I know you like Angus.
I like Angus a lot, and I haven't watched it in a long time.
It's
All right,
a good
that'll be
one.
fun.
Okay. Yeah. So check that one out. That one will be next Wednesday. I believe it'll be 6 or 7 p.m. I'll announce that next week whenever I finalize those details with Crafty. Also, we're starting a new month or we started a new month. I think we're finishing up our month in the next 2 weeks with 52/1995 music. Those are on Tuesdays. You can join us at 6 p.m. for those. This week's album is Radiohead, The Bends. So do check that out. If you have some time, give that a listen. We're going to be doing that and tackling that tomorrow. We'll have a guest on there as well. But other than that, again, thank you for all the follows. Thank you for all the new viewers and everything. Thank you for tuning in. We'll see you next time on 52/1995. We out.
Get stink palmed.